In a universe where the Earth's mana is in severe decline, mages turn to Spiritron hacking to enter the Moon Cell, a mysterious supercomputer on the Moon. These mages inhabit the Moon Cell's virtual space known as Seraph, where they covet the immense power of the Moon Cell's core. Responding to this wish, the Moon Cell decides to bestow its power to select humans through a process known as the Moon Cell Holy Grail War. Mages summon forth servants from the Moon Cell automaton, which stores data on Earth's greatest heroes, villains, and deities, to fight in a deadly tournament that cyclically repeats itself. To both tend to the war's participants, as well as populate Seraph, the Moon Cell utilizes various NPCs based off its data on Earth's humans. Among them is Sakura, a kind girl designated to be the war's nurse. She monitors the participants' mental state and provides bento boxes to them as they fight and train between official matches. Sakura, being an AI of the Moon Cell, is restricted in her emotional capacity to ensure she treats all participants with equal care. However, meddling with the system causes Sakura's emotional limiter to be removed, turning her into an irregularity. Her newfound emotional freedom overloads her programming, causing her to collapse at the entryway to her school. While all other AI ignore her, she is noticed and helped by Hakuno Kishinami, a unique AI that developed its own consciousness and joined the Grail War as a master. Hakuno escorts Sakura to the infirmary, caring for her for the rest of the day. While brief, this act of kindness is enough to provoke Sakura into falling in love with Hakuno. She yearns to remain with Hakuno, but faces an urgent dilemma. The Moon Cell checks for and eliminates irregularities on a daily basis, and Sakura knows that her awakened emotions will flag the system to delete her. To rid herself of this irregularity, Sakura creates a backup of herself, discarding her emotions and memories into the far side of the Moon Cell, a figurative dumping ground for malicious data and imaginary numbers. While this helps her escape deletion, her backup, named BB, still lingers in the sea of imaginary numbers, clinging tightly to her feelings for Hakuno. In contemplation, she realizes that if Hakuno wins the Grail War and interacts with the Moon Cell core, they will be deleted. After all, Hakuno, by being an AI with a sense of awareness, is also an irregularity. To prevent Hakuno's demise, BB decides to make an enemy of the Moon Cell, interrupting the war to prevent its completion. Her goal is to abduct Hakuno, placing them within the Sakura Labyrinth, a dungeon she constructs in the far side, and to keep Hakuno from escaping, she suspends them in a dream. For assistance in this endeavor, she splits off parts of her personality to create various sentinels. By combining parts of her data with the automaton's records of various gods, BB creates her sentinels as high servants, alter egos with unique features and abilities. These sentinels, the Sakura Five, are meant to help BB in her scheme to corrupt the Moon Cell, and yet they each have wills of their own. Her most trusted sentinels are Meltrellis and Passionlip, made from her pleasure, love, and hatred. She plans to assign them to guarding parts of the Sakura Labyrinth. The remaining three, however, prove to be much more troublesome. Alter Ego G, for instance, is made from BB's yearning, specifically the need to be loved, and is combined with various Earth Mother goddesses throughout mythology. This sentinel, Kingprotea, is a sweet girl trapped in the body of a giant. Her Saint Graph is composed of Titania, the daughters of the Titans that preceded the Olympian gods. This explains her colossal stature. Her second component is Airavata, a white elephant in Indian mythology, said to carry the deity Indra. Lastly, Kingprotea contains the essence of Tiamat, the primordial goddess of Sumerian mythology. Combined, these gods give Kingprotea an unlimited potential for growth. Her program has no level cap and constantly gains experience. If left alone, she can grow to cause universal disaster, consuming Seraph and the entire Moon Cell. To prevent this, BB makes use of two means. One method is a curse skill called Infantile Regression. It suppresses Kingprotea's power by reversing her aging process, keeping her from becoming an adult. Whenever she reaches the age of 12, she will regress back into an 8-year-old, keeping her size and ambitions in check. Even with this, however, she is considered too dangerous, and so BB seals her away further in a hidden space called the Fallen Seraphic Cage, Klein Cube. Here, she remains dormant, unable to escape her cyclical growth. Violet is another of the Sakura Five, also known as Alter Ego C. In fact, she is the first of the Sakura Five to be created, making her the oldest of the group. Fitting then that she contains the goddess Medusa, a woman cursed for her younger sister's beauty. Medusa possessed mystic eyes of petrification and was tragically cursed to transform into the horrific Gorgon monster. Following this theme, Violet contains the Indian being known as Apsara, the dancing ethereal women who serve as Indra's court musicians. They can alter their shape at will to entertain or seduce the gods. Her final component is Melusine, a female water spirit from European folklore. Melusine was condemned to take the form of a serpent from the waist down, like a mermaid, and tried to hide this fact from her husband Raymond by having him promise not to enter her chamber on the days she'd transform. Violet embodies powers of the Gorgon, as well as the ability to morph her arms into weapons. Medusa's petrifying eyes also manifest in the form of a skill called Crack Ice. The most concerning of the Sakura Five, however, is Kazuradrop. She is an alter ego of Sakura's love for humanity, which is ironic considering she finds the best way to save humanity is to eradicate them entirely. She harbors an allegiance to her role as a moon cell caretaker, and finds that BB's actions are imperfect or contradictory. Naturally, this extends to her blaming Hakuno for BB's lack of loyalty to the moon cell. Despite the other Sentinels' unconditional love for Hakuno, Kazuradrop aims to exterminate them and return herself to normal. As she watches the other Sakura-type AI selfishly pursue their desire for Hakuno, ignoring their duty to the infirmary, she develops the skill Repulsion for one's kin. Because of this, Kazuradrop makes use of her main talent, Insect Eater, to steal her siblings' abilities and take control of them. Specifically, Kazuradrop targets BB, consuming most of her power and transferring it to a fake BB that acts to instead kill Hakuno. First, this BB attacks Hakuno in their dream, freeing Kingprotea from her cage and ordering the Sakura Five to kill the unsuspecting master. Violet and Kingprotea assault the school, hoping to murder Hakuno in the confusion. Before this can happen, however, Hakuno reestablishes their contract with the caster servant Tamamo no Mae. To free Hakuno from the dream, Tamamo punches them abruptly. Awakened, Hakuno must still conquer the Sakura Labyrinth in order to reach the moon cell proper and continue the Holy Grail War. Hakuno and Tamamo fight against various foes, including Passionlip and Meltralis. When the fake BB first introduces herself to Hakuno, she unleashes Kingprotea on them. In this form, Kingprotea manifests her love for Hakuno in the form of destruction, genuinely believing that killing Hakuno is the most sincere expression of her feelings. With her bare hands and feet, she destroys the Seraph landscape trying to crush Hakuno and Tamamo, chasing them as they flee. She finally catches her prey, swallowing Hakuno, accidentally giving them access to her heart. Within, they see Kingprotea's gentle side, an innocent girl who wishes to be a bride, lonely from being feared for her colossal size. She simply wants love and has been deceived by the fake BB. Sadly, just as Hakuno teaches her what it means to truly love someone, the fake BB infiltrates Kingprotea's heart and takes Hakuno captive. In an isolated area called the Bug Space, the fake BB torments her prey, trying to squash Hakuno like an insect. She hopes this torment will erode Hakuno's will, but instead it strengthens their resolve. With the help of Tamamo and a newly liberated Kingprotea, Hakuno is able to escape the fake BB's trap and continue on in the labyrinth. Further in, they fight against Violet, who's formed a temporary contract with Hakuno's traitorous friend Shinji, and they even encounter the real BB, deprived of her strength. Through coercion and fear, the fake BB gathers a force called the Black Student Council to oppose Hakuno's advance. Battles intensify as Hakuno's allies face off against the Student Council. Tamamo and Violet test both their spells and brawn in combat. However, Violet is ultimately tricked into using Crack Ice on herself through Tamamo's mirror, causing part of her body to transform into the Gorgon. Despite this violent form, Tamamo defeats her by invoking the Seisho Seki, or Killing Stone, as a noble phantasm. Having lost the fight, Violet and Shinji are given the chance to see the fake BB's wickedness, and together they decide to switch sides and help Hakuno. Violet and Hakuno's ally Gawain team up, wounding the fake BB. To punish Violet for betraying her, she tries to devour her with Insect Eater, but Shinji jumps in the way and takes the impact. Sacrificing his life, Shinji redeems himself by ordering Violet to look after Hakuno. With newfound conviction, Violet pushes the fake BB even further. This forces Kazuradrop to finally emerge and reveal the truth, that she had absorbed the real BB's powers and kept much of that power in a fake under her control. With a variety of stolen techniques, Kazuradrop once again imprisons Hakuno in the bug space. Prior to this point, Kazuradrop had been relying on others to attack Hakuno because the data she'd taken from BB was filled with errors, and so she must modify herself before she's personally capable of killing Hakuno. Thus, it's only a matter of time until she can complete her objective. If she can kill Hakuno, she can proceed to using the Grail to end humanity, putting an end to human imperfection and eliminating the contradiction in her system. Thankfully, Hakuno is freed from torment as Kingprotea crushes through the ceiling of the bug space. Understanding that love is to be nurtured, Kingprotea fights Kazuradrop to protect Hakuno, but falls victim to Trash and Crash, a move Kazuradrop had stolen from Passion Lip. Despite her size, Kingprotea is unable to withstand the force, as she is crushed into the shape of a tiny cube. Devouring this cube takes a huge toll on Kazuradrop, forcing her to retreat. This moment of respite allows Hakuno and their friends to regain their strength and determination for the further battles to come. Essentially, Sakura's consciousness has many different aspects, and allowing those aspects to manifest as independent wills has caused an internal conflict that thrives in the moon cell's far side. Of course, other parallel universes exist, and in one of them, the Chaldea Security Organization fights to restore various singularities that open across history. One of the most complex of these singularities takes place within the Seraphic's oil rig, which merges with the body of Kiara Seshioin, a dangerous participant of the Mooncell Grail War. Kiara, with the help of a demon god pillar, aims to plunge the oil rig to the depths of the Mariana Trench, transforming herself into a beast of humanity, capable of becoming one with the planet. As Chaldea's master, Ritsuka Fujimaru, navigates this digital space, they find themselves attracted to Kingprotea's cage. Curiosity serves to penalize Ritsuka, as visiting the Mooncell's proverbial garbage bin rises Kingprotea from her slumber. Ritsuka's party is left with no choice but to venture to the hole's depths and defeat her before she surpasses Seraph's ability to contain her. They endure a brutal battle for the sake of tragedy, as all Kingprotea wants is to become a bride, touched and loved by someone who doesn't fear her. While her defeat causes her deletion, she is nonetheless pleased that someone went through the trouble of fighting her. She manages to get at least a minuscule amount of contact, and with that, she accepts her fate. Ritsuka, however, does not. After resolving the danger at Seraph, Ritsuka summons Kingprotea as a Chaldean servant. Unlike the digital world of the Mooncell, the physical world naturally limits her constant growth, allowing her to exist without threatening the cosmos. At Chaldea, she appears to be at the mental age of 14. She is introverted and fickle, yet surprisingly bold in her pursuit of love. At moments, she resembles a skittish rabbit, and at others an affectionate dog. She is loyal to Ritsuka, viewing orders given to her as a show of love. That said, she doesn't particularly enjoy fighting. She does not interpret herself as a giant, but rather sees everyone else around her as too small or weak. Nonetheless, her stature helps her resonate with and enjoy tokusatsu movies. Kingprotea appreciates how, despite being enemies on screen, the kaiju are loved by their audiences. As such, she uses her titan body in combat, implementing a noble phantasm called Aravata King Size, Colossal Figure, emerge from the Sea of Life. If the physical world inhibits her growth, Kingprotea circumvents this restriction via a reality marble. While it is themed around the Indian myth of churning the ocean of milk to birth the elephant Airavata, the reality marble effectively serves as a space where she can grow to her full size and crush her enemies under her palm. Ultimately, while the Mooncell causes her inevitable suffering, Kingprotea has found a brighter existence serving Chaldea to protect the human order. Once discarded as a monster, she can now be championed as a hero, basking in the affection she gets from her new master. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this channel, help me beat the algorithm by liking, commenting, and sharing the video, subscribing to OtakuDaiKun, and, most of all, smashing that notification bell so you don't miss out on all of my anime discussion, lore, or Let's Play content. If you want to support me directly, there are now 3 ways that all provide the same benefits. You can click Join here on YouTube, or join Patreon or Subscribe Star for access to exclusive vids and early access. As always, celebrate your fandom.